Sir, what are India's options?
Thank you very much for having me over on this. And this is I think, a time uh, which has kept recurring periodically with different, time intervals and periodicity, and has come to haunt us again. And I'm afraid, I think this time they have crossed the lines in the past, but I think they've crossed the line in a manner where I think they have bitten off more than they can chew. And the circumstances they have carried out this attack was possibly to, things were falling in place in Kashmir. The tourism life was coming back, absolutely had come back to normalcy. Look at the amount of tourists that we had there. But that was possibly taking away the attention uh, from Kashmir, and from the way the Pakistanis wanted to narrow it down, and from what General Munir's statements and came out, it was absolutely clear that there was obviously appears to be a well-planned strategy. And if it hasn't been a planned strategy, and General Munir's statements were uh, delinked from this, then I'm afraid, as a general, he's made a serious strategic mistake. And because this is going to have unintended consequences if he was not a party to it, which I strongly suspect is not true. It's very, I mean, we know the Pakistani security establishment and their engagement of the military and the ISI. So I'm sure India's options, we have plenty. We have run these options in the past. You've already mentioned Balakot strike. And what is interesting is that the Indian Air Force had carried out this attack inside Pakistani territory in each time. And when this attack was carried out, there was no aerial response. I mean, this attack went through clean. And that speaks volumes for our military capability. So there are plenty of military options, and I'm sure the people in the right places are going through them. And I think I'll close now and give
Okay.
others a fair chance.
Thank you. You stay with me, sir. Admiral Chawla, there was an element of surprise when 2016 operation happened. There was a bigger element of surprise when 2019 happened. You know, what is the element of surprise now?
The terrorists can be lucky, need to be lucky once. The security forces have to be lucky every time. So that's the first thing. Secondly, this actually represents the bankruptcy of Pakistan's policy and ideas, because this is the only thing that they are left to resort with. This inhuman barbarism that they have demonstrated against innocent civilians, and the way in which they have carried out is, as the Prime Minister mentioned, the most heinous crime that anybody can commit. And Pakistan does it for two reasons. One is when it is ignored, it has been ignored. And second is if when it wants to draw attention back to J&K, and obviously there was an element of international visits going on in India, which everybody's talked about. Now, as far as the response is concerned, I think what many people have said, and I agree with that, is firstly, it should be calm and measured. We need not, get amidst the sorrow. We should not let reason be overtaken. We should be very calm in our response and measured in a response. And we need to think through whatever we are going to do. Definitely something will happen. What needs to happen, whether it's a kinetic option or a non-kinetic option or a combination of these two options, will obviously depend on the decision makers of the day. What needs to be done is to ensure that the bankruptcy that Pakistan is facing in its ideas continues. The bankruptcy is in its futile attempts to, get back Kashmir, which is firmly with India, apart from some fringe element. The second part is that they themselves, as you mentioned, are facing a huge amount of backlash in Balochistan and in Fatah, and with the Afghanistan,
Okay.
on the Afghanistan border in particular. So their jugular vein is being cut from all sides. The jugular vein is actually their problem, not our problem. So
Okay.
while condemning and sympathizing with all the poor people who have died, I think we have a lot of options. Obviously, these options, the kinetic options, are something that can neither be discussed nor will we really know, and nor should we know what these options will be. But we should exercise all these options, kinetic and non-kinetic,
Okay.
at a time and place of a choosing, with an absolutely calm mind and ensuring long-term
Okay.
impact of these options.
Okay. Major General Chakravarti, the issue is what leverage does India has on Pakistan? We don't have an economic leverage, sir. I don't think there's a human to human relationship leverage. I don't think it exists today. The sort of people to people conversations. There is no diplomatic leverage. What leverage do we have? How do we leverage Indian power to reset the relation?
Well, we have a very strong armed forces, which I mean, so I do agree with you that diplomacy is practically there's no dialogue which is going on constantly between India and Pakistan. I agree with you as far as diplomacy is concerned. Well, both the embassies still exist. I do not know what they are really doing, but definitely we have a lot of leverage. My goodness, I mean, say whatever we want to do, our armed forces are. That's I can only say they are very strong. I can give out the options are plenty with us, plenty. I mean, say Air Marshal spoke about the air option. I can speak of number of other options. I can speak of I don't want to say the weapons which we have got. They can reach. You don't need not. You can carry out a strike with your ground forces, and you can use your own drones also to great effect. So options available with India are plenty. It's just a question of taking the right decision, deciding on which are the. See, we are well aware of what are the. You've got two lines of these terrorist bases.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.